Shemai Boys Bath, and hello to my fellow people pleasers in recovery. There are two types of writer, a planner and a pantser. Pantsers write by the seat of their pants. They enjoy the frisson. They enjoy the thrill of not knowing what will go down on the keyboard or on the piece of paper next. A planner is somebody who methodically works out the steps required, the chapters, the plot outline, the story through line, and a planner, I assume, enjoys the reassurance of knowing um, what the denouement of their piece of writing is. As you can probably guess, I'm a pantser, and pantser in my writing and a pantser in my video making. I haven't planned what I'm going to say to you today, so if there are a few ums and ahs, please forgive me. Now, people pleasing in recovery is like an addiction. People pleasing is an addiction, but it's an addiction that flows from an unsatisfactory self. We don't like ourselves, otherwise, we wouldn't be people pleasing. If we liked ourselves, we would be pleasing ourselves. Can you say that? That's a bit of a please yourself, isn't it? That was the old British refrain. Oh, please yourself. Well, perhaps pleasing ourselves is the greatest aim. Is what we need to aim for as people pleasers in recovery. Now, as I have alluded to in my previous videos, it's very difficult to not people please for family because the family dynamic, they've known you from the year dot. And perhaps the family don't realize that they are complicit almost in the nurturing of your people pleasing. They have had high standards, they've had high demands, and you haven't met them. So by people pleasing in adulthood, you are subconsciously making up for not being able to please them as a child and a teenager. Whatever you did was never good enough, was never up to the mark. So you are overcompensating and you're compensating as an adult. There are a number of videos on YouTube. I'm 38 and I hate people. I'm 52 and I hate people. And up till about 6 months ago, I was watching these videos and thinking, oh, I can relate to this. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm like that. But in the last 6 months, I've started to think that if we're not happy with other people, it's because we've been people pleasing, and it's because we haven't been true to ourselves. We don't know, or we haven't known what it is to be true to ourselves. Now, any projection of hate, dissatisfaction, disapproval onto other people, and don't forget, it's other people who are watching these videos. It comes from the self. It is a dissatisfaction with the self, and we are projecting our own happiness onto other people. It has to be somebody else's fault. We cannot take responsibility for our own people pleasing. So we blame others for energetically forcing us into people pleasing. I've come across a series of videos recently by an American gentleman called Tim Fletcher, and they really are quite revelatory. And I will put the link to those below. He talks mostly about CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and he talks about small small t, big T trauma. To use the word trauma, you almost feel embarrassed, don't you? Because trauma is something we associate with the military and with veterans. They've seen horrific events and they're suffering trauma because of it. Trauma is very personal to each individual. And if we've had an event happen to us that without our knowing, well, I mean, looking back, you probably did know, but something might have happened to have changed your brain chemistry in puberty. And that could be identified as small T trauma. Anything that has happened that has changed your view of the world, changed your view of people. And it's sort of ages old resentment, isn't it? That we have felt as people pleasers in recovery. And I must emphasize the in recovery bit. That we've felt a sense of resentment towards other people because we are people pleasing other people. And I mean, you have to have a strong dose of self-regard, really not to fall into people pleasing. I think most people have done a certain amount of people pleasing in their life, and when it happens, they regret it and they say, never again. It was a momentary lapse of judgment. I remember somebody saying, people pleasing as a term is a pejorative, but don't we want to please people? Don't we want to help people? Yes, would be my response. But if we're doing that at the expense of our own well-being, then it's not a good thing. And as somebody who has spent decades people pleasing, it now disgusts me. I feel nauseous, as they would say in America. I feel nauseous at the amount of people pleasing that I've done in my life. And those people long ago consigned to my own dustbin of history probably don't even think twice of the advantage is that they would have had from having my friendship, having my companionship. But there we are. My fault. We got to own it. So as people pleasers, it's a process. But I would strongly, you see, I use the word process there, not journey. I'm teaching myself, don't use that word now. The journey. It's far too common. So before we get to a 10-minute video, I would like you to think about your own recovery. It is a daily effort to remind ourselves, I'm a people pleaser and I have done it for years. I need to stop. I need now to please yourself. And check out the link below about Tim Fletcher and the CPTSD, the trauma in relation to shame, yn Gymraeg, cywilydd. We feel ancestral shame. We feel that we are not worthy. And that essentially is why we end up people pleasing. Let us raise our own self-esteem, brothers and sisters. Amen. Diolch am wylio.